So that is the case. If we're all checked and ready to go, gotta make sure all that my settings are good, which they are.
Our adventurers, the Telethia.
Okay. Fucking. Is this bootlegged? Is that what this is?
See, this is where we get the alternate universe versions of Aki and Mev.
No, alright. Come on, DM.
Okie dokie. Our band of adventurers, the Talaria, are closing in on the Jurhanian ship, known as the Rising Star, which is seeking a deal with the Moens of Mary Libere. Seeing the threat of a Jurhanian ship, let alone one that knows their way through the Coral Shield, you had set out upon Iridan von Wren's ship, the Stabbed Rat, in order to catch up and meet with the Nymphs Needle, and alongside that and the Algos, meet up with the Jurhanian ship, and attempt to dissuade it from making it through the shield, either via arranging for a better deal, outright denying it, or, if worst case scenario, combat. While the short journey has been mostly uneventful, a few discoveries were made, mostly among your possessions. Specifically, that kindling had an effigy that was apparently intended for summoning an elemental, a myrmidon. Seeing the potential threat, Mev had thrown the effigy off the side of the ship, and after a harsh discussion with Kindling, he was promptly thrown in the brig. Upon searching upon Kindling's possessions, you once again were brought upon the book that was for the purpose of summoning this elemental. As you had held on to the book, Mevelair had seemingly held off being charmed by the thing and trying to follow the magic back to its source, delved into the book's magic, where something known only to Mev occurred. The result was that Mevelair wound up in a coma for 2 days. To conclude on that as well, due to his aggression towards the ship's surgeon and lack of respect to authority, Von Wren had stripped Havelock of his position as first mate, deciding him to be too unruly, especially at the current time, for the role. And so now, 2 days later, as Mev has been roused from her coma, that is where we left off. So, just in the interest of letting Anna wake up a bit more, Kindling. As you have spent a few days in the brig, you've simply been passed food by members of the crew. You've busied yourself best you can in the cramped quarters. But at this point, you get a visitor. As Von Wren sort of walks over to the wall across from the brig and just leans gaze it and just stares at you with his arms crossed for a few seconds. How are you holding up, Kindling? Cool. Not planning on doing anything stupid like you were talking about the day we threw you in here, right? He's gonna insight you to see if you're being sincere about it. See if you're telling the truth. He rolled a 23 on his insight. Oh, no, sorry, 22. Changes everything, clearly. Ren's just like pushed himself off the wall and just goes to stand directly in front of the directly in front of the door. Good. So, let's get down to brass tacks then in regards to this. I have no idea what Mev, Havelock, and Arjun intend to do in regards to this. Personally, a little bit pissed off that you didn't at least say, hey, I've got something that could summon a big bloody monster here. But whatever at this point. It's gone. We don't need to worry about it. What I need to worry about now is the fact that you kept talking about jumping off the side of the ship. Well, just the fact that you were trying to do that. Because, again, what conflict you have with your other friends, it's not my business. What is my business is if a member of my crew jumps overboard. So, gonna make this very clear to you that I will be laying you out, but I'm gonna have my crew keep an eye on you. If it looks like you decide that you want to do that little thing you were thinking of again, you'll be back in the brig. All right? And this time I won't let you out until we're back at Mary LeBerry. Or the ship sinks. Because then you'll get your wish then. Good. Another thing. Your little book. I have it. It is locked away. And no, I'm not giving it back until we're back at dry land. Glad we can come to an agreement. You'll have to ask the others on where they've taken your stuff. I only know where the book is. And just sort of like reaches into his pouch and pulls out a set of keys. Just undoes the lock to the brig and just opens it. Just steps aside and beckons to allow you to leave. Shafai closes the door, locks it again, pockets it, he just says, just be ready. I don't know how this meeting's going to go, and frankly, I would much rather you be focused at the job at hand than having all these little thoughts in your head. So just make sure whatever's wrong in your system right now, it's gone by the time we get there. Final thing. Mev is awake. I'd probably recommend you not bother her for a day or so. According to Ian, she's fine but tired. So if you need to have a talk with her, maybe wait. But I'm not going to stop you. Unless you cause problems. Just gives you a pat on the shoulder and then just walks off. Okie dokie. So, I know there's a discussion inbound, so I just want to check anyone for anything else. No? All right then. So I guess Mev and Havelock.
Hello.
Hello. I feel Peach may have gotten called away. Oh.
Awesome. Cool.
Oh, okay.
Hi.
There we go.
So, obviously I'm kind of confined to my bed right now because I'm fucking like bone tired. I
Not true,
know.
you carried.
That's true. I don't think Mev would let that happen publicly though. At least not right now. While you're feeding her, she looks at you, Havelock. What happened?
I'd actually like to ask you that first. What the fuck happened, Mev?
I asked first.
Yours is more pressing.
She looks up at the ceiling. I don't know.
You lit up like the fucking sun again, Mev.
Yeah, according to you, I fucking did. I don't have a fucking answer. I don't know why that happened.
Okay. Then can you explain what you were trying to do that made it happen?
We don't know if what I was doing made it happen. I was studying the book. She thinks about it. Like, she gets that kind of dazed look in her eyes when she's trying to recall something that's been fogged up or taken from her, as it so often is. I the book had some sort of consciousness. That's not quite right. It was something I could peer into. The way that I did fur into a creask.
Who the fuck is playing Dream Girlfriend?
Can you
Grandma?
please fucking concentrate? Thank you.
Peach, are you playing that again?
No, I'm not.
Okay. Alright. So you're saying what? The book is alive?
To an extent, saying it's alive doesn't sound quite correct, but I can't speak to the dead. I can't peer into them like I do people. I can't do that to objects. There's something about it that is perhaps sentient to an extent.
Do you think it's got something trapped in it, like Kindling's knife?
Possibly. I don't know. I don't think I got far enough.
That's okay. And he grabs her hand, rubbing his thumb against the back of it. You're here. You're awake. That's all that matters.
She looks at him. Are you going to tell me what happened then? I know something did.
I was removed as first mate.
There's like this deep inhale as she waits for you to continue.
I refuse to leave your side, and I refuse to leave anyone in the room with you without me.
So you allowed him to strip you of your position.
He's not my true captain. Position doesn't mean everything.
He's the captain on this ship and our ally, Havelock. Having that kind of in is important.
It will be fine, Mev.
It looks like she wants to reply to that, but she is choosing not to. She says, "Did anything else occur?"
Arjun has been here. Of course, Dazu's back. As far as I'm aware of, we have not been attacked by anything yet. And if Kindling doesn't get his shit together, I'm killing him once we hit sand.
You're not killing Kindling.
I will kill Kindling.
On whose orders?
Mine.
Am I not your captain now?
I think you're a little too loopy to be captain right now.
I'm gonna make a strength check on you.
Yeah, a strength
Yeah.
check.
Fucking, I guess disadvantage. No, wait, is that? We'll see. We'll see. I have the exhaustion up, so it should do it automatically if I do have disadvantage. I don't. All right, awesome. Mev, fucking,
No.
Yeah?
Exhaustion level 2 has disadvantage on ability checks, and spell speed is halved for level 2.
does it not do it automatically then?
No, it just tells you what you have to do when you enter the exhaustion level.
All right, so I'll just go ahead and do it again. All right. Mev, grabs you like by. You're probably not wearing a shirt, so I'm guessing you're wearing your coat.
She grabs him by the nipple.
No, fucking stop. She grabs like his coat collar and like pulls him down. You're not fucking killing Kindling. Do you understand me?
If he doesn't get his shit together.
Kindling. I can't say how much of it was the book's influence and how much of it was being a fucking moron. Fact is that he's been manipulated in some fucking way. He can't be held entirely accountable. Until we figure that out, I'm holding off any punishment. You are not acting outside my orders.
I didn't know he was being influenced by something. Understood.
Perhaps you
He's
should
gonna
wait
give her a
for me to
smooch.
give you all the facts, instead of trying to make decisions while I'm weak. Just because this is my state doesn't mean that you can take over. Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
Good. She lets you go.
He's gonna give her a smooch on the cheek. Now come on, finish the food.
Did you apologize to Von Ren?
I have.
She nods. She's starting to eat again too. Looks like she becomes quiet, and you at this point recognize when Mev is calculating. It seems like she's thinking of next steps.
What are you gonna say if we meet your mother?
Fucking do a fucking con save. Okay. She's eating, and you say that she just fucking stops in her tracks. It seems like she was about to swallow. If you had said that like a second sooner or a second later, she would have fucking choked. Fucking she finishes that bite, and she kind of sits in silence for a second. I'm going to... I'm not sure yet. I've thought about countless things to say, how to behave. But I don't think any of that sort of calculating is going to matter once I'm there.
Do you want me there with you? Or do you want me to stay back?
I do not know. I don't know if the Talaria is going to be boarding the Needle. Don't know if Von Ren is going to. If you're asking on a more personal stance, I do not want anyone getting between my mother and I. Not initially.
Then I'll stay back.
She sets the food aside. Seems like that question's made her lose her appetite.
Come on. Couple more bites. You don't get a say in that.
I'm fine.
No, you're not. You were asleep for 2 days. You need to eat.
I'll finish it later.
Alright. Is that a promise, Mav?
She looks at you. If you've not got the job as first mate, go help with the navigation. Keep an eye out for the Needle for the next couple of days. I don't know when I'm going to get back up.
Dawes will be here with you, okay?
I'm sure he will be.
Tell them to come get me if you need anything.
She nods.
And with that, Havelock will reluctantly leave.
Mav waits a couple minutes. She looks at Dawes.
Hello?
What's it gonna take for you to leave?
So Lake seems deep in thought. I mean, like for a little bit, or
She thinks about it. Couple hours.
Just sort of sits there contemplating. I'm gonna guess you're not gonna say why.
Oh, sweet Dawes. Am I ever one to share my secrets?
So, like, it's easier to like look over at the food a bit. How about the next time they send a hot meal, I get as much as I want, and I only go outside the door for this.
Deal.
Okay. If you see a spider scurrying in as fast as they can, that's because somebody's coming and I need to make sure I'm here. Specifically, Havelock.
Oh, don't worry. I'm not trying to get you in trouble with your boss.
Thanks. Very much appreciate it. So, like, scoots over to where there's some leftover food and just grabs some, just begins to eat it quickly. And as he just, like, stuffs his face in, he just messily wipes his mouth. He sort of, like, flies up to the ceiling. You see him, like, shrink into a spider and just sort of crawl through a gap in the door.
Fantastic. All right. I don't know how this is gonna go for me because I'm fucked up.
Mm-hmm.
I'm so fucked up. Is it possible for me to try and traverse what I saw before?
Like, try
Like, in my head.
to recall it?
Yeah.
So is it essentially trying to replay it or trying to ascertain details?
Trying to get details. I'm trying to basically, like, I saw what I saw. Now I want more information.
Okay. All right. Let's make this a wisdom check then.
Oh boy, I get disadvantage right now. Actually, it'd be normal because I get advantage.
Mm-hmm.
No, we figured that's on saving throws. That's just saving throws.
Yeah.
All right.
This is just a
All
straight.
right, so I get disadvantage.
Yeah.
Okay. Wisdom check.
12.
12.
Okay. That's the case. Make a intelligence check for me as well.
16.
Okay. So it's specifically trying to ascertain because without going into too much, some of it was stuff that you were already aware of.
Yeah.
Is it specifically the new stuff or is it just in general?
It is the new stuff. I'm trying to figure out what is actually mine and if I can get more details on those things.
Okay, all right. So you sort of just sit there in silence, just eyes closed, just thinking back to those visions. You, with the older ones, they appear to be the most muddy, which you realize is interesting. These new ones seem a bit clearer than the others. You just sort of try to go back to what you had heard, what you had seen.
Mm-hmm.
With some parts of it, like the fires that you saw, they're linked to the old, like, more muddied memories. You know that at the very least. There's a link between the two. You sort of are able to link together the fields and the houses because of the 16-8-year-old.
Mm-hmm.
So while you're not too sure on whose they are, you know at the very least that the connection between them. The voice that you had heard, the first one, the one that was dismissive and seemingly insulted by, you don't know who they were addressing.
Mm-hmm.
But the voice sort of sparks fear in your chest, you know, this was you recall a feeling of like of loss, of almost being like a small child who has been separated from their parents and is now in the presence of strangers. You begin to piece it together, and at no point do you recall anything resembling like a small child. You sort of lean towards potentially it to be more you than Valkyrie. You're not 100% certain, but it leans more heavily.
Okay.
The final one that you had heard, of the person asking for forgiveness as well. It's weird for you because this is one of the very few times from these memories that you've heard voices. At least voices that were clear, not immensely muffled. But you get the feeling that it's definitely another one of your memories. Whoever the person is that spoke, the accent doesn't match like an Arizarian accent. You're not too sure where, but it's definitely not Arizarian. And the powder keg as well. What little you can recall that you know between yourself and Valkyrie, gunpowder wasn't a thing back in his time. So you know at the very least that keg, that is definitely a memory of yours. But you don't know when.
With the accent, it's not Arizarian. Is there any way that I can maybe do a history check to figure out what kind of accent it is?
Let's go with history or nature, your choice.
Okay. I'm better at history. All right. 12. Fuck. All right.
12. I can at the very least get like a rough region, but I need to actually re-remind myself with the map. There's the map, it's the map, it's the mappy map. So just bear with me while I... Got it. Yeah, there it is. It sounds like you haven't met many people from it, but it sounds like somewhere around south of Mary Libere, near Verachaz or Archwine. Somewhere around that region. It could be called Mordakian as well. It's
Okay.
a large area that it's a large region that covers pretty much like in terms of like throwing a wide net, it would cover both Kulmordak, Verachaz, and Archwin.
Okay. And just remind me, where was I found? Because I know it's like somewhere on this map.
You were found somewhat. One sec, let me pull out the bigger map to make it easier. The actual. Where is it? There it is. So if we just move us back to the main map. So you were found somewhat between Port Honor and Kaitsan. So round about near the Caius Mountains. On the southern side, so like we're talking like around this region. If that's showing up for you.
Okay. All right. Cool.
Love you. Go on, Torment. Oh, shit.
All right. All right. Cool. Great. And I think, how long does it take me to get through all of this?
Decent chunk of time. You're normally okay-ish at keeping track of time, but the fatigue plus just the focus that you have.
That's so funny because these exact scenarios are when Mev is the worst at keeping track of time.
Yeah, it's hard to tell. At the very most,
Okay.
like you sort of just like you open your eyes, you just sort of like reach over to the bowl, which was still warm when you had started. It's gone cold.
It's gone cold. There's got to be like a small like port window in here or something. Has the light changed at all?
It looks like the first tinges of red from sunset are appearing. But at the same time, you don't know.
Fuck. Okay. Yeah.
You don't know roughly when you woke up either, like time wise.
Yeah. Okay. Still, that's at least a little bit has gone by. Okay. Then. Yeah, I think Mev is going to take this time to basically just fucking sleep if no one else bothers her.
Make a perception check for me.
Oh boy, I'm really good at the checks right now. Perception 7.
Nothing seems to be disturbed. Everything's fine. So you just kind of take one last look around. Just drop off to sleep pretty quickly.
That is so fucking ominous. Like, with someone in there when I wasn't fucking paying attention. How did someone get in there without me knowing? Oh, okay.
All right. Anyone else doing anything while Mev sleeps?
Typing.
Okie dokie. Have luck, Arjun. Either of you two doing anything?
Havelock's just pretty much wandering around seeing where he can help.
Alright. So, sort of, you ask around for, okay, like, if they can help. At one point you end up, asking Silver, the quartermaster, and just sort of, just takes a look at you and he's just thinks for a second. Well, you can either help keep watch or simply working on the rigging.
I'll help keep watch.
Right. You're looking for any hazards that are in the way, and of course, the Nymphs needle.
Internally, Havelock's feeling very proud. He knows that ship very well. His father always told him, look out for that ship, hit it on sight. What would that be, perceptions?
Yes.
What a great way to say, like, hey, look out for this ship. Oh yeah, that ship. I've been told to fucking shoot that ship.
It's on sight.
Honestly, fucking
18. So you don't see, for the remainder of the day, you don't see any sign of the needle or really any hazards. You do see somewhat in the distance signs of like the back end of the coral shield as waves crash against some of the higher up corals. You spot a pod of dolphins swimming by.
I would like to Eldritch Blast the dolphins.
oh my god!
Make an attack roll.
I'm joking.
Okay.
Peach, you know dolphins are evil.
Listen, I know that, but like just randomly shooting them,
They could make more.
they can make more.
Eradicate, exterminate.
Okay.
Yeah, no, I was joking. We are not shooting the dolphins.
Alrighty.
Yeah.
So you shake your head a bit to get the intrusive thought out. But you
Yeah, what
continue
it's
to keep
called.
watch. Okay. What about you, Arjun? You doing anything?
See, there's not really anything that I think Arjun would be up to yet. I think he's biding his time.
Okay. Alright. So, if that is the case. The next day arrives. Merv, you wake up. You've now lost a point of exhaustion because you've had a long rest.
Fantastic. There we go. Honestly, I think Mev is just gonna take the time to recuperate today. If again, if nothing happens, if no one bothers her, because they said that like they should be actually searching for the nymphs within like the next day or so.
Mm-hmm.
So Mev kind of has to get prepped for that.
Alright.
She can't be in this state if she meets her mom.
Okay. So you just spend some time just sort of like trying to sleep again. At one point though, there is a knock at your door.
Who is it?
It's Von Ren and Ian.
Oh, at least my visitors are cute. Come in.
Just opens the door. At this point, like you can make an insight check actually.
Alright. Insight.
8. Okay. No, Von
The
Ren
man is
looks
killing me.
Von Ren looks quite serious in regards to this, but
Mhm.
Ian does as well, but you sort of see like a little twitch on the corner of his mouth.
Alright.
Yeah. So they let themselves in and close the door behind them. Von Ren sits down. It's like, so, how are you holding up?
She like rolls over to face them and puts She holds her head up with her hand. Elbows like resting on the bed. I'm doing fucking great. Yeah, let's go with that. I'm doing great.
They're both inciting you.
Okay. 14.
Ian just meets it. He also got a 14. I think actually wait.
Fucking.
Just met it.
Mev. I mean, Dr. Man can tell when someone's like fucked up.
Mm-hmm.
Mev is not terrible, but it definitely looks like she is still drained.
Cameron just sort of like nods. You sort of like look over at you, and he's just staring at you. Like at this point, the twitching corner's stopped, and it's just like stern expression. And he just like Von Ren sort of like looks over at Ian as well, and stops nodding.
He's telling on me.
Right. Well, I'd like Ian to at least check to make sure you're recovering well enough. This will be the last time, I assure you. Unless you do something that gets you in this state again, of course.
I'll fucking try not to. She sits up. All right, pretty boy, check me.
He doesn't hide the smile on this for this. Medicine check. Okay, damn, he rolled high. All right, so he like just quickly like checks like your reflexes and all that stuff, just because you're like a quick checkup.
Yeah.
Just steps back. It's like, well, like the last time I checked physically, she's fine. It's just sleeping for 2 days straight isn't exactly healthy.
Technically, it's 3 now. I just woke up in between.
Well, what I mean is without any food and not much in terms of water.
Yeah.
But you should be okay. We just need to make up for lost food and water, is all. So
you're gonna stuff me?
make it a perception check.
Perception?
Yeah.
Oh my god. No. Oh, whoops. I'll just do it again. There we go. Oh man.
Oh, that's a
This
terrible
hurts.
roll.
That is so funny.
You sort of hear murmuring from Von Ren.
Oh my god.
Where you just hear it. You just able to hear out where it said, "Won't be the first time."
Oh my god. Fucking.
Ian is completely like stone faced, like purely like he's all business at the moment.
He has no time for my fucking shenanigans.
He's like, not necessarily. 2 hearty meals, lots of water, and then you'll be ready for what you're probably suggesting.
Oh my god.
He gives you a bit
Am
of
I
a sly wink at that.
Jesus Christ, Mev.
But no, in all seriousness, plenty of water, decent amount of food, you'll be fine.
I got that.
Also, probably do some walking around. Again, you've been bedridden for a few days.
It seems like that part, like, that really does not want to do right now.
I'm not asking you to walk all the way from here to Ansor. I'm simply saying do a few walks around your room. Stretch your arms, you know.
Okay, I guess I can do that.
I mean, if you're going to be on the ship, you're going to have to walk. I'm sorry.
Fucking Mev just pouts at him.
That'll be enough, Ian. I'll get some food delivered to her. Just sort of nods and walks off.
Mev immediately, like, the second this guy leaves, she starts grinning.
Great guy, Ian.
So,
Except when it's
so
business.
serious.
It's I mean, it's we've told you stories of how he was back in the day. It's simply his little church boy persona coming through.
A persona is a persona. Can fix that.
Well, been trying. That's why you got here in the first place.
Maybe you need to try a little harder.
I kind of like it when he's this serious, though. Means that when we inevitably fuck up, he's not going to be joking about in it, especially if it's something bad. So I kind of like it like this.
She nods. I heard what Havelock did.
What part? The part that that Ian found him slapping you, or the fact that he
Oh my god!
or the fact that he showed so much disrespect I had to get rid of him as his first mate?
Mev pauses. He did what to me?
Oh, he didn't tell you that. Yeah. I'd sent Ian to have a look at you when you had passed out. Came in and saw Havelock slapping you across the face. Damn near Ian damn near put a knife in him.
Great. No, he did not tell me that. Specifically asked him if there was anything else, but didn't feel inclined to share.
Then I hate to be the one providing this information to you.
Wouldn't it be the first time Havelock's done something fucking stupid? But I was referring to the disrespect. You offered him an important position, and he failed to do his job.
Aye, that he did. And look, I get it. You and Havelock are close. Completely understand that. But you and I both know that when it comes to operating a ship, we can't let shit like that get in the way. So if not, the whole thing turns into anarchy.
Yeah, she nods.
Don't get me wrong, I love a bit of chaos here and there. But if it can cause a risk, I ain't about that. If Havelock can't keep hold of his emotions like that, and when someone he cares about is in trouble, he disregards all authority and level-headedness, I can't have someone like that as a first mate.
Yeah, she nods. I understand why you made the call that you did. And I apologize. Havelock is someone that I recommended. I'm sorry.
Look, I get it. It's fine. Alright? Free pirates, when they try to move over to our stuff, pain in the fucking ass sometimes. I get it. But that's why I had to make the call, because... Well, what would have happened if I decided not to?
Yeah, she nods.
You join us, you have to accept that there's some things you have to abide by. That's the cost of being a code follower. What you get out of it is a place to call home permanently. As opposed to the others just going here, there, and everywhere, doing what they want. Which, I mean, hey, that's how you want to live? That's fine. That's why we leave free pirates alone, but... When you're a code follower, you gotta abide by rules. If you want to be a code follower, you gotta abide by those rules.
I think Havelock will adjust. It's just hard. The incentive of having a home, I'm not really sure it means much initially when you've never had one.
Look, he's the son of Cadwigan, Scourge of the Veshmere Sea. I expected him to show up and be a, goody-goody code follower. I get it. There's going to be teething issues. But we deal with it as we deal with it. He hasn't put the crew at risk, so beyond me just stripping him of his position, there's nothing else that's going to happen. Besides, I like the guy. Reminds me of me, kinda.
Oh?
Not really caring much about how things go on. I mean, I don't know how many times Camilla has said about how they don't really trust me being a crow's nest captain, yet here I am. So I kind of...
Here you are.
Yeah, that's kind of the thing, I see it the same way as when I was becoming a crow's nest captain with him. Yeah, sure, cool. I'm a competent guy, but can I really be trusted in that? Like here with Havelock. I see the guy's... Well, he's helped protect you for this many years. Not saying you couldn't do it yourself, but you know what I mean. But, people will say the question. Yeah, but can we really trust Cadwigan's son? Not the exact same parallel, but it's enough of one. That's why I'm still willing to bat for him. If we come back and Horace still says, oh, I don't think we should let this Havelock person come in, I would simply say, nah. He's fucked up, yeah, sure, but I would still say give him a chance. But he really needs to get his shit sorted out, because I can only bear that so far.
I'll work on them. He will adjust.
I'm sure he will. Sure he will. Alright, I'm gonna make sure that food's ready. Since you need to rest, I'm just gonna ask them to get like a big jug of water as opposed to just, small ones.
Right.
So, don't fall asleep yet, because you need to eat. But then, by all means.
Meth just sitting there disappointed.
I'm sure it won't be long. This conversation probably dealt with most of it. And, yeah, fuck it. I'll just say that nobody needs to check up on you, because I'm going to assume Havelock's going to do that for us.
Most definitely, yes.
Alright, then, unless there's an emergency or anything, then I'll just simply say that only, what was your group's name again? Shit, I forgot.
Talaria.
Talaria. Only the Talaria can, visit you, at least till you're doing better.
We're approaching the waters that the nymphs should be in, right?
If we spot it, I'll let you know.
I want 2 people up there.
All right. I'll find someone unless any of your others want to volunteer. But I'll keep an eye out.
She nods. Thank you.
You, for now, just focus on recovering.
Okay.
All right. Opens door, says. As he opens the door, you can see that there's a crewmate standing there with a large bowl. There's just an awkward silence before he takes a bowl from him, and then he just grabs the crewmate by the shoulder, and he doesn't make any quiet. It's like, you and me are gonna have a talk after this.
Oh my god.
Just pushes crewmate away. Just okay. He's definitely looks annoyed and just places the bowl down. It appears to be another large bowl of essentially curry.
Why is this guy getting talked to? Is it because he was just right there? Does he think he was listening in?
Are you saying that out of character, or is that what Nev's thinking?
I'd like to insight it. I'd like to insight it. The
12.
sick guy's on the Algos.
It definitely seems the case that Von Ren thinks that he was eavesdropping.
All right, yeah, all right.
And so he places the bowl and the plate and such. It's well, convenient. Places the jug over at another table just a little bit away. A little bit away from the bed. He just places it there. It's so you do what Ian says and can, walk around a bit.
I'll listen to the doctor's orders.
Very good. All right. Well, as I say, I'll be keeping an eye out. Enjoy getting stuffed. Closes the door.
Oh my god. For fuck's sake. Alright. I'm gonna eat this fucking food. Actually, if I can kill 2 birds with 1 stone, I'm gonna try and walk around while I'm eating, in my room.
Okay. Yeah.
You're eating? I thought you promised that hot food all the Daws.
Fucking Dawes can get some. I mean, he saw the food. Is he gonna come in? I'll give him food.
As you starting to walk around, you just hear something land on the on the mattress. You turn around, you can see there's Dawes there. It's hey.
Oh yes. And she will split the plate with him and then be like, if you want more, I can always just ask for more.
No, his mouth's already full of food.
Oh my god, alright.
That's fine. I love this. This is fine.
I guess a demon doesn't have to worry about spice.
Mm-hmm.
Alright.
Okie. That's a lair. Moz. Alrighty, so anyone else doing anything on this day?
Should be the last day before
the
someone
next
else
set
has
of
to roll,
rolls,
right?
yeah.
Yeah.
Like obviously normally we go ahead, but stuff happened partway through.
Man.
Oh my god.
Arjun, this is probably like, I'm not avoiding time RPing or anything. I just don't think Arjun would be doing anything other than like what his basic duties on the ship are.
Okay. What about Kindling and Havelock?
Havelock would like to continue looking out for the ship and checking in on them occasionally.
Okay. Make a perception check for your searching of the ship.
Does he get advantage because Mev asked for someone else to join?
Yeah. Unless you want Von Ren to also do it, because he's the one that's looking out, basically.
Ooh, he gets like a bonus, doesn't he?
Can
He-
do that.
He is proficient in perception.
Yeah. All right, both of you.
Rolls.
Go.
I got 14.
Ooh. You rolled a natural 20.
Nice.
Okay. So the two of you continue to look around. No sign of the needle yet, it looks like.
All right. I expected
Fuck is
that.
my new mother?
Where's my actual mother?
We don't know where your actual mother is.
Fucking, we're looking for her right now. Where's her fucking boat? Okay.
This is your adopted mother.
Fucking.
Alright, and so you occasionally go to visit Mev?
Yeah.
Alright. Any conversation had between you, or is it just like, hey, how you doing? Doing okay? Okay, good.
I don't know, Mev, are you asking him anything?
I think, Mev, when you go to check up on her, she just looks at you and goes, I know what you fucking did.
Do you know?
Yeah. Why do you insist on harming me in states where I am most vulnerable?
Genuinely, I was hoping it'd wake you up. It works.
Has it
on,
ever?
some people.
Has it ever? Havelock?
Never tried it before.
Tried to drown me at a point. I've been hit repeatedly in combat while in those states, and it does not get me up.
You have?
She thinks about this.
Havelock wasn't there. He was
Yeah.
not in that part of the battle.
Yeah, she thinks, and it's like she's not quite sure for a minute. And she's like, yes, it was those gnolls. I went down and they kept attacking me.
Hey. Yeah, got called away. So, you finished your little conversations there?
They are talking right now.
Oh. Sorry.
The fuck do you mean with the gnolls?
That's what happened, I think.
You were passed out and they left you there?
No, I started to hallucinate. A crease grabbed me. I don't think I moved though.
You were still next to Aki after the battle when I came over there and he was panicking. I didn't know you had been hit.
I think that's what happened. Sounds like Mev really, isn't sure. You know that Mev's memory is really fucked up in those states.
Okay. He takes a deep breath. Okay. Well, now this has been ruled out for future purposes, but I didn't know that, Mev.
Still, I tell you people to leave me alone when I'm like that. Seems that it got you in trouble with another crew member. You didn't tell me that.
Because it was fine. Everything's fine.
So, because it worked out seemingly, I don't deserve to know what happened.
No, of course not.
She stares at you, seeing, do you want to add to that statement? Because right now it sounds like you're saying, of course you don't need to know.
I'm sorry, Mev.
I just don't know why I have to spell these things for you, Havelock.
How are you feeling?
I'm still tired. I think I need to sleep a little bit more, but Doc wants me walking around. I'll be up and about tomorrow.
Do you want to walk with me? Just a short one?
I've been wandering about my room. I think I'm about ready to fucking sleep.
Alright. I'll look through Dawes in a couple of hours, see if you're up, and then you'll walk with him.
I'll figure myself out, yes.
Get some rest, Mev.
She rolls over, lays down.
He's going to firmly tuck her into bed, Mev burrito, before he leaves.
Oh my god. Alright.
Okie dokie. So you spend pretty much the majority of the rest of the day just sleeping, occasionally waking up to, drink and sort of stretch your legs a bit.
Yep.
And that's the case, and that gets to the end of that day. So who would be next on the rolls?
Kindling.
I was about to say, I think it was kindling.
Do I get to remove my exhaustion?
Yes.
Fantastic. It was murder with those ability checks.
Lucky that you get.
I thought it'd be
Uh,
funny if Tom said no, you get new exhaustion from talking to Havelock.
Fucking honestly, I wouldn't be surprised if Tom said like, no, this one is like a longer exhaustion. Fucking.
It is a D6. A 3. Thing. There it is.
Tom's
That's
just like looking at his chart and he goes, guess what, everybody? It's Sahagin!
okie dokie. Right then. So Havelock, I assume you're still keeping a watch?
Yep.
Alright, go ahead and make a perception check for me.
Do I have my assistant?
Yes.
Cool, let him take a roll. I got a 19.
You got a natural 18. Farman's just killing it here. Alright. So. One of the first things that happens is that the weather does take a bit of a turn for the worst.
Oh no.
Does start raining again, somewhat heavily. But despite that, you continue to stand out and watch the horizon for any sign of the needle. Von Ren spots it first, but you very shortly afterwards spot it as well. He doesn't say. Von Ren doesn't say anything initially, but quickly stops a crewmate, and he simply says, "Signal the Algos to slow down. We're going to one sail only, and then get some up saying that we're friendly. Grappling hooks and the gangplank." And sort of walks back, looks back in the same direction, and you sort of notice as he's walking back as well. You can see a respectfully large ship. Looks to be a frigate. Sort of sailing in your direction, a little bit to your ship's left. But you sort of, as he sort of like, as Varman's looking, his brows are like furrows. He looks a little bit concerned before handing you the spyglass to look through. And so, like, you take the spyglass and you look through it as well. You can see the ship at this point. It has taken a pretty decent amount of damage. You can see sort of on its left side. I'm avoiding saying starboard and larboard here because PTSD, plus it's easier. That there's several large holes on the side. Several of them have been boarded up, but some of them are just open to the elements. Several of the sails are somewhat ripped. And you're not really sure if it's because of the storm or not, but it has a very slight list to the side. But you can sort of see just about the crew. They don't appear to be moving around with any panicked urgency. So just based on what you can see, it looks like, despite the state the ship's in, the crew aren't panicked at the moment.
And just because I didn't hear before, Tom, what ship did you say we found?
The Nymphs Needle.
Oh, fuck
this is
yeah,
the
as soon as
Nymphs
Havelock... What was that, Brad?
Was it, Brad?
Oh, so this is the Nymphs Needle?
Yeah.
Yep.
Oh shit.
You sort of like just double check to make sure. You just look up at the flag. I hope to God I don't butcher what the description of the flag, unless you want to describe it, Peach.
The flag, anyone that is like looking out to the ship, is actually very, very familiar because you have seen this flag on Mev's arm before. It is a solid black background, though the fabric's a little bit shimmery, with a golden dragonfly on it, and the tail actually, like, it matches Mev's tattoo very closely to like a T. The tail of it is a stiletto dagger.
So I just sort of like look up and he just sort of like hands the spyglass back to Von Ren. He just pokes and says, well, you might as well go get Mev.
Oh, before he even says anything, Havelock is sprinting.
Yeah, he just takes it off. He like as he pokes it, he says, well, they best you go. Oh.
Yep.
All right.
I have wasabi peach. Very delicious.
Fucking we find Med snacking on wasabi peas.
I am.
So-
What time of day is it?
Somewhat early in the morning.
Okay,
Like
so-
you have woken up, and a crewmate has like handed you some food. Not as much as it was before. Like it looks like they've put you down to like normal portions. They just sort of quietly eating
Yeah.
until
Mev's,
you
like,
until you hear a
hanging out.
and just the door
Yeah.
like swings open.
Go ahead, Anna.
Havelock just fucking breaks in through the door. He's not even saying anything. He's just grabbing her and lifting.
What? Locke, what are you doing?
We found the needle. We found the needle.
You found the. Oh shit! And she like wrestles herself out of your hand. She, even if she like lands on the floor, she lands, gets up. She's gonna start like grabbing her things. How much time do I have?
A little. Come on.
A little. She grabs her bag. She's gonna start going with you, but she's like, she's basically like fixing, her clothes, trying to make her hair more presentable. She doesn't have her bandana on. And it looks like she's like kind of hesitating, like she can't decide whether it is appropriate or not. Though she is wearing her brooch.
Well, what are you doing?
no.
Do you need help?
I'm just I'm trying to get ready. I need to be presentable. Yeah, she gets on deck. And she looks out. Can she see the ship from here?
At this point, it's gone a bit closer. You can see it, though it is still very much on the horizon. Especially given the reduced visibility. Because Von Ren had spotted it predominantly with his spyglass, and Havelock had spotted it. You can see like Von Ren's just sort of like dangling off part of the rigging, just trying to get a bit of a better view while still being relatively close to the ground.
Okay. Got time. I've got a little bit of time. Whew. Okay.
Like as Von Ren, like, because he's like occasionally like checking everything else. He's just while he looks towards, he sort of spots you before he like hops down. Well, good morning, Sleeping Beauty.
Good morning, Von Ren. What's the plan? Are we boarding?
Well, I know what Camilla's policy is about Ocelot going over there, so probably not. We've signaled to him that we're friendly, and then we're willing to offer assistance. I've had a look. They seem to be preparing for I mean, you'd say boarding action, but you know, the friendly kind.
Yeah, she looks around. Are there any women on this ship besides Mev?
Nope.
All right. Yeah. Oh God. Mev bites her lip. She looks at Von Ren. I'm the only one that's going, aren't I?
I think it's best if they came over here.
All right.
He just like pulls out the spyglass again and hands it to you. Take a look, you'll see what I mean.
Okay, she takes it.
Mhm.
She looks through the spyglass. Obviously, like this conversation isn't subtle, so anyone that is on deck can hear it. Argent Kindling. She looks through. She sees the damage. It's not in good shape. Do we have any excess material that we can give?
Not necessarily excess, but I'm more than willing to split my supply if it means that the needle's in a better shape.
Meph thinks about it. The Algos should have a little bit of excess, right?
Possibly. You don't know how much they've resupplied.
We don't know how much it resupplied, but we know that we went pretty heavy on supplies during our own voyage.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, Mev nods. Perhaps we can check the August stock too. If each of you give a little bit, it would go a long way.
I'm not about to leave the needle in the state that she's in, don't worry. But for now, we just need to... Well, before we get to work on that, we need to make sure that, one, they're okay, and two, the reason why we came here to begin with.
Right. Okay. Mev gives him his glass. Where should I be? What's my position?
Wherever you want.
It looks like Mev does not like that answer. She was really hoping that she could have some sort of excuse to not fucking be here.
He's gonna inside bait then, based on that. See if he says it. That's a 6.
Oh man. Alright. Deception. Oh my god, nat one. Mev hates this. Mev looks like she is gonna like be a fucking nervous wreck. She might actually puke.
Looks just a double take.
Ugh.
If you'd rather not be front and center to begin with, then Silver. You see, like Silver come over. Need to take stock of our repair supplies. We're gonna need to give some to the needle. So I guess if you want, you can join in for a bit. I can get the pleasantries out of the way with them, and then you can show up when you're ready.
She looks at Silver and she looks like back out to the horizon. I'm not going to sit here and stare at it, but I shouldn't hide either. Can you call me back up when it looks like they're about to join us?
Sure. Still got a bit of time anyway.
Okay. She will join to help Silver with the supplies.
Okie dokie. So it's relatively quick to get down to the hold. So you quickly start like counting how much repair supplies that you've got. While this is happening, Arjun, have luck and kindling. What are you three doing?
Arjun is he is. Let me look.
Silently panicking.
Also silently panicking.
Yeah, Arjun is just crossed arms up front. He looks like he's prepared to talk if he needs to.
Arjun not panicked.
Yeah, he doesn't. He was like, at first he was like, why is no one allowed on the ship? And he kind of just looked around like while everybody was talking, and then maybe I hope they should come over here. And he's just like, okay, well, I guess they're protective of their ship. I mean, I guess if we put too many boots on the ground, then we might sink the damn thing. So that's fair enough. And he's
Well-
just he doesn't know that they're all women. He doesn't know that there's any kind of stigma for that. And so he's just waiting for the ship to get here.
Yep. He'll find out. He'll learn. He's gonna see them,
Eventually.
and yeah, it'll click.
Maybe we should just put Silver in a dress and send him over.
Oh my
He-
god.
He might pass.
Yeah.
Actually, that reminds me of something. Havok's gonna go get changed.
Oh,
Oh.
no.
Okay.
Oh no.
Oh.
I like how Brad's panicking when he doesn't even know what this means.
I
don't know.
know.
What this means.
Jesus Christ, you're gonna do
Well,
this
like,
now?
You said like you were just saying this reminds me, and I'm just like, what do you fucking mean? This reminds you?
Yeah.
Yeah, we're doing this now. Havok's gonna go get changed.
You're gonna do this now? Oh god. Alright.
Alright.
Alright. I bet this is just like for his own protection.
So, if you and Silver spend these couple of minutes just sort of counting up, Silver's doing most of the calculations, so he mutters a lot. He seems to like doing a double take, scratching out stuff in his journal, until a crewmate comes down and says, we've thrown the first hooks and they've thrown theirs, so
Oh. Man, like, it's a good thing none of the Talaria are here, because she hears that, she crouches down for a minute and like holds on to part of like the wall.
Oh.
Okay. Okay. You can do this. Okay. She stands up. She's gonna turn and go upstairs.
you as you leave, you hear Silver go, good luck.
Meth fucking flips him off. Doesn't even look back.
Okay. So, as you sort of arrive up, the rain that had started has stopped, but it is still relatively windy. So as you just come up onto the main deck, you can see there's several ropes across from each ship. And you can just see at this point there's several of the crews sort of like pulling their ropes to bring the ship closer together. For Havelock, would you still be getting changed at this point?
I don't believe so. It shouldn't take him that long to get changed.
Okay. So then you and the rest of the Talaria actually notice now that you're this close. All the crew over at the Nymphs Needle all appear to be women. Every single one of them. There's not a man in sight.
Oh.
Am I here when Arjun says that?
I'd imagine so.
I don't know, are you?
Okay. Okay. I didn't know how close I was. I don't know if I was still coming up. So yeah, Mav looks at Arjun. Oh.
Everyone on that ship is a woman.
Excellent observation. You seem surprised.
I am surprised. I've never seen that before.
Part of the nervousness that she's carried like dissipates for a second. There's this like smirk on her face. The Nymph's the only one that's kind. All women, men aren't allowed to board unless it's a complete emergency.
Is this an emergency?
Not sure yet.
Not good luck.
And yep, the nervousness is back. Mev, like she freezes a little bit. She looks back at the crew. Who can I see?
You can see. Let me just scroll up to look at the crew list.
Has anyone spotted me yet?
You know what? Are you trying to keep yourself somewhat hidden?
I think while they are setting things up, Mev is. She doesn't want to distract anyone. She's probably like tucked like in the tall boys, you know?
Okie dokie. Make a stealth check then.
Oh man, I'm always good at that.
I mean, are you wearing your armor? Because I know.
I should be wearing my armor.
Okay.
7.
Okay.
Just a question.
Yes.
Should, before we get deep into what is probably going to be a very big scene, should we call a break so that we're not all holding our bladder?
Are you holding
Wait.
your bladder?
Maybe.
Wait, what's it? Man, this session's gone fast. Yes, 10-minute break. I completely lost track of time. Yes, 10-minute break.
Again. By the
No, but
way,
yes, but no.
Anna, you want to tell everyone what he's wearing? I don't think Arjun's seen it.
I don't think I have the picture still. Oh god. So Arjun, you know Havelock usually wears his long coat, sometimes a shirt, sometimes not. But this time, he is wearing a... Oh, I have it! Aha! He is wearing this. A nice sunset-colored dress.
A dress?
A dress.
Okay.
I think, Mev definitely sees Havelock and, like, whispers to him, like, what the fuck are you wearing?
Armor! He's gonna fucking whisper back.
Armor? She shakes her head, like, she doesn't have time to think about this. Alright. Mev's trying to use the tall boys as cover. I think it's very effective.
Okay.
Camouflage, blend into your surroundings.
So, a couple minutes later, the ships sort of bump up against each other. The gangplanks are put down. Some words are exchanged across the ships before a handful of people come over from the Needle. As this is happening, Varren just sort of like turns to his crew and just says, "All right, step back. Give the lady some space." he sort of steps back as well, but is still, somewhat in the front.
Just makes me more noticeable.
So, I guess the question is, do you want to describe the named crew that come over? I can say which ones they are, or do you want me to?
I can describe them. Yeah, who
Okay.
all comes over?
The captain, the first mate, and the navigator.
And the navigator. All right. So, I will leave the captain for last. Firstly, you guys see what looks to be an elven woman, probably a wood elf, that has very, very dark brown eyes and this like almost like sun bleached platinum blonde hair that is shaved on the sides. She has what looks to be some sort of wave pattern tattoos on those sides of her heads. And for an elf, like, most people don't see buff elves. This woman is huge. She is ginormous for an elf. And then the the navigator, in contrast to this gigantic fucking elf, is this very small, kind of corvid looking person. If any of the characters know what a kenku is, this is a kenku. Very, very large black beak. And while like most of her is pitch black, she has a bunch of stray feathers on her wingspan. And then finally, there is what looks to be another elven woman, another wood elf, that is maybe 5'9". She has kind of tannish, sun-kissed skin, very short black bob, and very familiar eyes. She has these beautiful, stunning emerald eyes that look very much like Mev's. And then, similar to the tattoo on Mev's arm of the dragonfly, she has one splayed across her chest.
Alrighty. So, as the free walk across, the smaller of the wood elves walks right up into Von Ren's face, and you just hear her go loudly, "Von Ren, the hells are you doing here?" Nice to see you too, Kay. First order of business, how's your ship and the crew holding up? Excuse me? I mean, from what I can see, the Neil's not looking too good. Might need dry dock from the look of things. So see her look around at the rest of the crew, almost like she's looking for something. Make another stealth check, Mev.
Fuck. Oh god. 12.
You sort of crouch down, but you're also somewhat just slightly curious, so you sort of like move a bit to try and get a bit of sight. Actually sort of like are able to get to a point where you can sort of like see through the crew at Camilla. You just watch the head just like turns and locks eyes with you.
Fuck. Oh, I lock eyes with her and I cringe. I can already hear her in my head because, like, my mom has tried to teach me about how to hide yourself, and I've always been fucking terrible at it. So on top of everything else that's going on, Mev can just hear her mom's like judgment of her form. And she winces and she walks out of the crowd.
As you're doing this, you actually see like the frown quickly dissipates, and as you like walk out, she just sort of like takes a step forward, another, and then just begins like running towards you. The rest of you see like Odin's like, hey, what? Jeez. And just sort of like walk after him. I just sort of like step out from the crowd. Do you say anything while you're doing that?
I mean, I think the only word that Mev's even able to get out is, Mama.
She instantly is just wrapped you in a hug.
Yeah, Mev looks a little surprised. She hugs her mom back very tightly.
Oh, my dear sweet Adana.
Hi, Mom. She just squeezes her.
She sort of like relaxes a little bit before you start to feel her squeezing a bit tighter, and you hear her go, do you have any idea how worried I was? Nothing, not even a bloody word, and you vanish. She like pushes you back, holding you by your arms, just like she is like full on glaring at you at this point. It's like, why didn't you tell me anything?
Mev looks at Camilla with like these big eyes of Mev's always held herself, you know, just older than she is. She's very mature. She's always tried to be steady. And under this woman's gaze, she is a child. And there's just this look of remorse and guilt, and like she just doesn't have an answer. And she goes, I don't.
I have searched for you every chance I had whenever I left Mary Libery, trying to find you, trying to find anything about you. Where were you? Where have you been? Why are you here all of a sudden?
I was on Karmora. I was traveling.
You spent all this time in Karmora. Mev, listen to me very carefully. Did anything happen while you were there? At this point as well, like Von Ren's just sort of like going around to the crew, just sort of like moving, just give them their space, just fuck off, go, you go. As you sort of like walks past the rest of the it's like you can sort of like notice this half left for a second. You freaking stay. The rest of you just fucking.
Lots of things happened. Too many to talk about right now.
Mev, can you roll me a perception check?
Okay. Yep. Perception. 19.
You You are aware that people, like, obviously all around you, you can hear people's thoughts.
Yep.
Even now, that's the case.
Yep.
You hear Arjun thinking hard. Like, he is thinking the equivalent of thinking loudly, and he's saying, "Do you want me to intervene?"
So he's actually trying to reach out to her. Most people don't do that. She breaks her gaze with her mom. It doesn't seem like she actually connects with you, but she looks at you, and she shakes her head just very quickly.
He nods.
Given that Camilla's staring at you, she follows you. Who's that you're looking at, Mev?
Mev looks back at Camilla. There are people with me, people that I've been traveling with,
You didn't travel alone then?
No, ma'am.
Stay right here. Just sort of pats you on the arm, stands up and walks towards the three of you.
Oh, I hold on. Oh God, what do you roll for like holding your nerve?
That's a good
that
question.
con?
Wisdom.
Yeah.
Con or wisdom? Okay. I'll do wisdom. Okay. Yep. Mev looks shaky for a moment. She just holds on to the side of the railing. It does not look like Mev goes after her. She just watches.
Yeah. Shudder sort of like walks up to you as you're doing that. Just sort of gives you wraps her arm around you and just gives you a pat on your shoulder. So my brain's forgetting how you pronounce the first mate's name. What was it that we went with? It was
Cooley.
Cooley. For some reason, my brain wanted to say Curly. Cooley. Yeah. And Cooley's just sort
There's
of...
no R.
Yeah. Just sort of near you as well, arms crossed. You know, like, she's keeping a stern face, but you can see, like, a small smile appear when she looks at you.
Who wrapped themselves around me?
Chitter.
Chitter. Mev looks at her and she just signs, "I'm sorry."
Just gives you a bit of a stronger pat on your shoulder.
All right.
So, Camilla walks up to the rest of the Talaria. Just stands there looking at the three of you. Has Mevila told you who I am?
I believe you're her mother.
Correct. Camilla Gatlin. Captain of the Nymphs Needle and Crow's Nest Captain. Thank you. It's nice to see someone with manners. Now, if you would be so polite as to tell me who the three of you are.
Arjun looks over at the other two. He expects them to go first since he's been here the least out of all of them.
Havelock is looking fucking nervous.
Oh my God, you all are so fucking...
Kindling? Well, I suppose then I can thank you for looking after my daughter. But I'd like to know the names of the other two here that have, and I mean this with full sincerity, made sure that she was safe.
That's what you think right now.
Havelock is desperately staring at Arjun.
Arjun, he he clears his throat. My name is Arjun Siderian. I was the last member of this group. I've only been with her since Port Honor. Kindling, and this is Havelock. They've been with her longer than I have. They've been more responsible for keeping her safe.
I see. Arjun and Havelock.
Yes, ma'am.
Make an insight check, Havelock.
Oh.
She knows.
17. You can sort of see by how her face is moving that it looks like she thinks she sees some familiarity, but isn't entirely sure.
Do I have permission to speak freely, Captain?
Of course.
He nods. Your daughter has helped me significantly on a personal goal of mine. Without much in the way of how I have been able to pay her back yet. It was my honor to bring her to you. I'm glad to have been able to see this reunion.
See a somewhat sly smile creep up on her face. My. Very few gentlemen appear to be around nowadays. I'm glad I found one.
Arjun is like blank face, as stoic as can be. He says, "I've personally witnessed Kindling and Havelock in battle alongside your daughter, myself. They've all worked together very well.
I can see that. After all, she's here. The how and why, there's going to be many discussions had, surely.
And he looks over at Havelock, unsure of whether or not Havelock has anything else to say, but he is going to continue if Havelock doesn't speak after looking at him.
This boy is silent. He is shaking in him boots.
Okay. We're here on urgent business for the Isle of Moa. There is a very dangerous situation on its way. We were, frankly, we had to take the fastest ship we possibly could in order to head it off.
So that's why Von Ren is here. At this point, Von Ren's sort of being hanged about. He's like, yeah, I would have told you if you'd, asked. You're welcome, by the way. Just a glares over. Well, I don't expect you to be a messenger boy, Arjun. I'll be sure to get the details from Mr. Von Ren here. But I definitely will need to find a way to arrange a way of thanking the three of you. And I'd very much like to get to know my daughter's saviors.
The only thanks I would be looking for is a conversation with you personally.
A rare gift? But you have been very polite. And I do enjoy conversing with gentlemen. Once I see what this is all about, we'll decide on when that conversation will be.
Thank you, Captain.
Potentially we can roll in the getting to know each other better. Same for the two of you. So it looks over at Kindling and Havelock. So like steps back, walks past Farmer and goes, so anyway, they okay, well. Just so like looks over at the three of you. Just like shrugs as Camilla heads back to you, Mev.
Mm-hmm.
So like puts both her hands on the top of your shoulder. So, looks over at the rest of the Talaria. These are your friends?
They are, yes.
And how much do you know about them?
Well, Arjun said that he was fairly new. I don't claim to know a lot about him yet, but I do know that he is extraordinarily competent, intelligent. Out of everyone, if I were to give someone a task, it would go to him first. I trust him the most with it.
Do I hear this?
Yeah. Yeah, you do.
Arjun looks bewildered.
Yeah. It feels like that's honestly, it's less of a compliment towards you and more of a slight towards Kinley and Havelock right now. Kinling is, yeah, it's a very low bar. Kinling is frankly irrational, impulsive, but he's good muscle. He can carry himself in a fight, and if push comes to shove, I would want him essentially breaking the fucking door down. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to curse.
That's fine. It's a very stressful situation. And unruly, but can start shit. Like looks up towards. My brain keeps wanting to say Cooley.
Yeah, it's Cooley.
Oh, it is Cooley. Okay.
Yep.
Looks up towards Cooley. Who just like looks up at looks over at Kindling and just snorts.
Yep. And then Mev, she hasn't looked at either Argent or Kinling when she said this, but she looks at Havelock. I know everything about Havelock. When I say everything, I mean everything. I know exactly what they are capable of. I know exactly where they come from. They have been my greatest companion on this trip. And I care for them deeply. More than many.
Looks slowly towards Havelock. Looks back to you. That's interesting because they're the one I'm most curious about.
Mev looks at her mom. I'd be happy to answer any questions.
Okay. Where are they from?
Yenta.
Hmm. They look familiar to me. You don't happen to know anyone that they may be related to?
Oh boy. Mev looks. If Anna can hear me, she looks at Havelock. Can you hear me, Anna?
I can hear you.
Cool. She looks at Havelock. Does Mev have the go ahead?
He nods.
Mev closes her eyes like as if like steeling herself, and she looks at Camilla. Their name is Havelock Prothero, related to Catwick Prothero of the Ruby's Wrath. They are his child, his kin.
You feel Camilla freeze at that. I'm sorry, I might have misheard that. Are you saying that that person over there is the child of Cadwigan?
I did not stutter, Mother.
You, because you can sort of hear, like, thoughts.
Mm-hmm.
It's not so much a thought. It's more of a feel of, like, a building anger coming from Camilla.
Oh God.
You do sort of, like, hear a few bits here. The only other thing you hear, like, you feel the anger come from the others as well, but it's less so. The only other thing
Are they
that
mad
you...
at me or are they mad at Havelock?
It's just a general rage that is building.
Rage. All right. Yep. Wrath, you might say.
And the only thing that you hear, because he's somewhat close, is Von Ren. You could just sort of hear, like, through the various voices, like, oh shit. Do I need to step in? Shit. Interesting. You've been traveling Karmora with the son of Cadwigan. She sort of furrows her brow for a second and then looks back at Havelock.
I left Port Honor with the son of Cadwigan.
Is that so? Well, she sort of takes her hands off his shoulders, just sort of like adjusts her clothing a bit, make a perception check.
Can I make one too?
Do I get advantage because I know my mom?
Yes. And what were you saying, Havelock?
Can I make one too?
Sure, but it'd just be a flat.
Insight.
Sure, but it'd be a flat roll, yeah. 15.
Okay, yeah.
You just see her, like, adjust her sleeves and such, and like she just, like, shakes her left breast, her right one. It's just like, well, I suppose I better thank them. Just walks over towards...
Mom.
She stops. Yes?
It looks like Mev doesn't quite know what to say to persuade her mom, but she knows. She knows. And she is going to say, I love Havelock. Please. Leave him be.
simply want to talk to him and give him my thanks. He was walking towards Havelock.
She winces.
So like walks past Von Ren, who like he's like a deer in headlights at this point. Camilla
Alright.
approaches you, Havelock. Havelock, was it? What was that, Brad?
Can I just say that I'm having a held action in case, like, I'm right next to Havelock. If I see her do anything malicious, I can act, right?
If you wish.
Okay.
So is it like
I'm
if
fucking trying not to cry.
so is it like if she attacks, you attack kind of deal?
If she tries to, like, bust out a knife or draw her sword or anything like that, I'm going to disarm her.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, she did.
Actually, if that's the case, are you trying to be subtle about it? Just quickly check, Brad.
I'm trying to be subtle about it.
Okay. Make a, let's say, self check.
Does he get advantage because all eyes are on the shit show that's going down?
You know what? Let me roll. Whoop. Let me roll to see. New Camilla is still aware of what's going on, but she. Okay.
She's alert.
She is alert. So let's see on perception roll. Okay.
She suddenly gained the alert feat.
Anyway, so yeah, she's like, Havelock, was it?
Yes, ma'am.
That tells me that you are a most trusted companion.
It's an honor to be that companion.
She also told me that your father was Cadwigan.
Correct.
Well, it's very nice to see that you haven't taken the same trait as your father. And she sticks out her right hand.
Havelock is going to shake her hand.
As you reach out to shake her hand, she flicks her wrist up. You hear an audible click. And in an instant, obviously, I know, Arjun, you're going to do a disarming thing, but right as you're about to do it, you see in her hand now is a little, like, pocket pistol that she just is holding directly at Havelock's head. Hasn't pulled the trigger, but obviously if you're going to do a disarming attack.
You see Arjun... I'm gonna roll something for him real quick, if you don't mind.
Sure.
You see his hand come up, like he's going to stop her, and he stops mid motion, and he holds his recedes his hand and says,
I see Mev was right about you, Arjun, about being the smart one.
yeah, he puts his hand down.
I'm back. My Discord died. Stopped mid-motion. That's where I lost
Yeah.
you.
He stops mid-motion and, like, he reels his hand back very slowly before trying to get involved with Camilla, and he just watches for now.
I'm gonna hold another action.
No.
Okay.
He is the action. I'm sorry.
I knew your father, Havelock. If there was any one person that I would freely kill again and again, it would be him.
There's a little sparkle in his eye, a wide grin across his lips. I'm sorry to tell you this, but I've taken that honor from you. He's dead.
Then what do you suppose I use this bullet for? I hoped it would go into the blackened husk that is his heart.
If you're so inclined, you can put it in my heart. And he's gonna grab her hand and shift it.
At this point, Van Ren sort of like tries to step up, but as he does, you see like Camilla draw her sword and point it towards Van Ren. Why don't you be a good boy, Van Ren, and stay out of this? I'm gonna roll to see if Van Ren keeps his nerve. It's a low roll, but it's high enough. Van Ren just sort of like pauses for a second, just begins to step back, before he just shakes his head. It's like, rule 6. So Lucas, what you have, Locke?
Fucking.
You know what rule 6 is, don't you, Havelock?
He should remember. Can I, the player, have a reminder?
It's in campaign notes too.
Oh, thank God. Campaign notes too.
So it's above what I posted. It's what Peach put in.
Yep. Captain's commitments to the safety of their men. Unfortunately, you don't have any men on that crew.
Fucking.
Point I'm trying to make, Camilla, is that currently, with this current job, Havelock's part of my crew. The shit you want to deal with? Afterwards. But until then, you see at this point, Van Ren draws his own sword and points it towards Camilla. Clearly draws her weapon. Like, it's essentially slowly becoming a bit of a Mexican standoff.
You have to stand on?
Yeah. Until then, you are not going to pull that trigger. You're not going to kill one of my crewmates. And were you aware of this, Van Ren? Aye. And I let him on willingly.
Arjun doesn't move to take out a sword or anything like that, but he does say, Captain Camilla.
What?
I would like to vouch for Havelock's character, but I would like to mention as an elf, you know that humans fall far from the tree.
Just like stares at you still. Unfortunately for you, dear Arjun, the whole thing about our capabilities compared to humans, compared to Dragonborn, compared to anything, I don't care about it. I never cared about it. It's not important.
Mev. Camilla can hear behind her. Mev actually moves forward to like get involved in this, and she She goes to Camilla. She grabs her arm. What Von Ren mentioned before about the code. You might disagree with him with the rule, but Havelock is into rehabilitation. As far as things go right now, he is essentially an asylum seeker. Per our laws, you cannot punish him. He's in my care. Are you really going to throw away your position, your respect, your honor, me, for a grudge? Not even towards him, but to his father.
So, does any of the people involved, you can decide among yourselves here, for a persuasion check, you will get advantage. It's basically a case of either Arjun, Havelock, Mev, or Von Ren. Even though obviously you've all said certain things, it's basically which stats do you want to use?
My persuasion's a 3, so eh.
My persuasion's a 2.
Von Ren's is also a +3.
My
Havelock.
persuasion's a 1.
Okay. All right. So I think Arjun might be the best one.
Yeah, so it's either with
With
advantage. Yeah, it's either advantage, or if you'd like to give one of your dice to one of the others to do their own separate roll, alleviate the pressure and all that.
I got this.
18.
He got this.
You got this, baby.
Oh, the birthday bunch is at it again.
Is this true, Havelock?
It is true. I'd follow Mev to the ends of the earth. I'd listen to her word for anything. I love her.
Mark my words, Havelock. Just because you can hide behind your captain and my daughter does not mean this issue is settled. But the three of you have raised good points. So looks over towards Von Ren. And I assume we have more important things to deal with. More than you know. So brings herself back up to full height. Just puts the pocket pistol back into its little casing on the sleeve.
Mev lets go of her, and there's an audible sigh of relief.
She sort of looks over at you, Mev. And just turns to look at Von Ren, who's still got his sword drawn, though not fully extended ready. I'd like to politely ask you not to threaten any of my crew again. And to actually fucking listen. Well, I'm listening right now. we've dealt with what I would argue be the most important issue here. You know, I don't want this conversation here on the deck. Can we go to the quarters? Sure. Looks towards the four of you. I'm happy to explain it, but obviously I know some of you might want to say your own thing, so head on in. I gotta let the crew get their shit together. Also, before we start this, Camilla, you didn't answer my question. Yes, I will need to put the needle in dry dock, but it's not at risk of sinking. Even with the list? Even with the list, you are... Are you about to imply that Gnath is not capable? No, not at all. But, we can spare some stuff. We got another ship behind us that could probably spare some stuff. We're gonna need to deal with that bit later. Right, well, let's get our carpenters and quartermasters together and discuss something. Who knows, I might even let them on board. Oh, quite an honor. It's only because of the state of the needle. Oh. Don't worry, they'll be on the best behavior. Alright, you all know where the quarters are. Just... I'll be there in a minute.
Mev takes a second to just like collect herself. She tries to stand up straight. She looks to Camilla. I'm going to be involved in this discussion, so I can lead you there.
Very well. Looks over to Chitta. Just goes, you can head back. Keep an eye on them. Chitta just signs affirmative. Just looks at you and signs, saying, it's good to see you again. We've missed you.
Mev signs, I missed you too.
Just nods and says, I'm sure we'll catch up, either a little later or when we're back home. And just heads back across the gangplank.
Yeah, Mev will take Camilla to the quarters. Who wants to join?
Arjun's coming.
Well, that's good, because you didn't have a choice.
It was a courtesy ask.
Kinley and Havelock can stay if they want, but...
Discord died.
Ooh.
Yes, it did. I want to be there. Let me in the room where it happens.
Oh my god.
Okay.
I think, yeah, Mev is going to, if that's the case, she's gonna walk and she just, like, puts, an arm on, she puts a hand on Havelock's arm for a second. She looks at him. I'm sorry.
You said that was on Havelock's arm?
Yeah.
Why are you sorry?
I should have stopped her sooner. I froze.
I think you did good. And he leans down, cups her cheek, and gives her a kiss. I love you too.
Oh my god. No. Right in front of Camilla.
You do hear the footsteps stop behind you.
Oh my god. Fuck. Mev lets this happen, but she removes herself from Havelock. She quickly continues.
You don't even look back.
I'm scared of looking back. I'm so scared.
Okay.
I don't think I have the heart. If anyone else wants to, sure. But Mev doesn't.
Havelock
Oh my
will
god.
look back.
You're such a fucking shit. You almost got shot. You almost got shot and you're taunting this woman.
You can see she's staring at you with a look of barely contained anger and visible disgust.
Pray for me, everyone. He's going to give a quick curtsy and follow quickly after Mev.
Oh my god.
Arjun's gonna cuff you up the back of the head.
What was that for, Arjun?
Don't push your luck.
So you lead it your way into the captain's quarters.
Yeah.
You choose whichever seat that you wish. Camilla sits down, just sort of in the middle of one of the table.
It's Mev, she like goes to sit in a chair. Tom.
Mm-hmm.
Camilla goes to sit in a chair.
Yeah.
Yeah, Mev quickly like goes to like pull it out for her and everything.
Thank you.
Just
sits down, just sort of pushes herself in.
Of course, Mama. She doesn't sit down. She stands by Camilla, just very nervously.
So, a couple of minutes as you all sort of sit down, and this one comes like, "Well, sit down, Mev there."
She quickly goes to sit.
Havelock's gonna pull out the chair for her and take a spot on her left.
You're such a fucking asshole. Thank you.
So see that her face doesn't really change, but you do see that she sort of, not in the same manner that she had before, but she does start feeling about roughly where the pocket pistol is.
Mm-hmm.
It's only one. It's only one-handed, but you can, Mev, you can tell just because of the fact that Camilla's like done it a few times that she's just like if you say you got a bit of jewelry, just playing with it.
Can I? Because I know where my mom keeps this, and like I'm watching her out of like the corner of my eye.
Mm-hmm.
Can I just like telekinetically shift the gun, like it wraps around the side of her sleeve all of a sudden, so it's not right next to her hand?
You could probably telekinetically, like, because it's sort of like clasped on to it, or like the mechanism for it. You could probably telekinetically try to unclasp it.
Yeah, I think I'll do that.
Okay.
She goes to bust out her gun and it just kind of shoots out of, like, the whole gun flies out of her sleeve and just goes
I'm
across
hoping,
the room.
yeah, actually, if that happens, like in this scene, yeah.
So typically when you do stuff like telekinetic shove, it's like something with an intelligence check that you usually do, isn't it?
That's if I shove it. Technically, this is like an invisible mage hand. So I can just move it. It would, I think, just be a dexterity.
Yeah, we'll go dexterity.
Which I'm so good at.
Question mark?
Well, is it sleight of hand or is it just straight dex? Either way, it will not be different for me.
If it doesn't make a difference, then just whichever of the two. If it's not going to make a difference. 5. You just succeed in nudging it a little bit, and she just like pauses for a second, just readjusts her hand a bit, goes back to just messing about with the pocket pistol.
No, because Camilla knows about my stuff too. Do I try and fuck with her again? Is the DC going to be higher if I try to fuck with her? Probably. I'm going to try one more time. I'm going to try one more time.
Okay.
Listen, I'm not worried about being shot. Okay.
Havelock's not too worried. You're directly in front of him.
For fuck. Cool.
Basically the same.
I'm just going to look away.
Yeah. Just sort of like pauses for a second, like looks down at it, and just continues. A few minutes later, from Ren, sort of like comes through the door and just closes like, right. I'll down the needle because you're worried about it. They're working on it. Good. Go on then, sit. You know, nah, I'm gonna stand. I know. And where have you go in the guts all of a sudden? When I realize that what we're doing right now is wasting time when there's a big threat on the way. Ain't got time for your shit, okay? Well, go on. Explain. Well, I don't know the full details here. Oh.
Mav looks at him.
Arjun looks,
Oh,
Arjun, will stand up from his seat and say, I can explain if you need to.
I can explain the gist, but it's probably fine details I might be missing. So, there's a Jurhanian ship heading our way? Really? Yeah, and it's trying to get through the shield to do a deal with us.
Oh my gosh. Mev stands up to sit down, Bondred. Like mother, like daughter.
I like to stand, but if you wish to explain it, then I will. By all means.
Whatever makes you feel biggest. And she looks at Camilla. She puts like her hands behind her back and like she actually looks at Arjun for a minute. She's fucking nervous. Like the whole reason why she didn't stand up at first because this girl's freaking out a little bit. But she says, there's a ship from Jirahan, specifically Galero, that is interested in trading or smuggling Celestine from us. Jirahan has recently essentially put bans, lots of bullshit legislation on the transport and trade of the material, and it looks like they want to use us as a resource to get around that. Obviously, Celestine is a extraordinarily dangerous material, both physically and politically, and to get involved with such a thing would be putting a target on our back, both with Jurhan and enhancing the one that we already have with Komordak. This is something of an international problem. Currently, the traders are looking to head to the Isle of Moa. I found out about this, and using the rabbit hounds, they're a couple of greens. They have agreed to lead the traitor to Moa due to the situation involving blackmail. I convinced them to essentially take a long way around over to the Isle of Yenta. And since then, I and my companions have made our way to essentially warn about this, see what we can do. I'm hoping to... This merchant wants to meet with the Crow's Nest captain. He wants some sort of official person in order to engage in this trade. We're hoping to keep him away from Moa and in international waters, both for our own safety and in case things escalate. Bev takes a deep breath.
So like looks over. She sort of looks over at Von Ren and looks at you and Arjun. I'm getting the feeling that finding me was not a coincidence. You intended to try and find me, didn't you?
Mev nods. Von Ren isn't exactly a diplomat. There was need for someone of your skill set.
Did you hear that, Von Ren? Yeah, very well aware. And she's right. Look, I can do deals with small merchants, but usually that stuff is, we will take this to here by this time. I'm not getting out for this shit. I'm just giving us a means to get there as quick as we can. I've read about this other ship, this Algos. It's just a bit bigger than ours. It's a merchant ship too.
It's the ship that that I and my crew used to transport us to Moa.
Really? Well, I'll definitely have to thank them as well. I don't like owing debts and all that. And what about this Johanian ship?
Did we get the name of the Jarahanian ship?
Yep, it's
Rising
1 second.
Star.
The Rising Star? Okay. The Rising Star. It's, I haven't seen it myself, but according to the Rabbit Hounds, it is loaded with Jarahanian tech. You are familiar with the sort. I know that the Rabbit Hounds and I engaged in a plan to dismantle some of it, and it sounds as though it was successful, but I'm not fully aware of the conditions.
A Johanian ship. What kind?
It's a great question. Is it another frigate?
No. Third advised that it was a galleon.
It was a galleon. Okay. I keep getting the Rabbit Hound ship and the the Rising Star mixed up.
Yeah.
Galleon, I think they said.
A galleon. So you intend, you still like looking at Von Ren at this point, you expect a merchant ship, your ship, which, let's be honest, would struggle to even sink a fishing vessel, and my damaged frigate to take on a Johanian galleon. I mean, Rabbit Hound's got a pretty big ship.
We're taking it on politically. There shouldn't be any combat if this Jarahanian wants actual business to be concluded in any way, shape, or form.
Are you aware of how cutthroat Johannian merchants can be, Arjun?
Yes.
Then you know that they will do anything and everything to get what they want. So we need to think of any and every possibility, including combat.
Mother, there's nothing saying that we have to be on the ships. We can always be on land.
The issue there is that it leaves our ships vulnerable if they decide out of anger to sink them. Even if things would go wrong, if they were to open fire, we'd be left stranded. How capable fighters do you have, Onren? I got a couple. Most of my crew we're not much in terms of fighting, but we can do that. And what about this Algos? So it looks over to Mervyn Arjun.
I believe we've only got like one fighter. That's our cannoneer on the Algos.
We have our cannoneer and we have our druid.
About two.
Two. And I assume that should you continue onwards, that you would be aiding us in a battle as well? A potential battle.
Arjun nods.
And then there's my crew. Many of them capable fighters. So it looks over at you, Mev. Do you know much more about these rabbit hounds?
How much do I want to get people in trouble? How much do I want to lie to my mother?
I mean, you already stole from her. What's a little lie, you know?
She Myth swallows. I spent a couple months with the rabbit hounds. They were the ship that I took to leave Port Honor.
And they never realized who you were. By gods, they were green. Or are green still, I suppose.
It was the only way that I could get away with what I did. No other ship would have taken me.
What the... More important things right now.
Yep. How many of them are fighters?
Should be in the pirates list here.
They don't have a...
Oh,
okay, I see that they have some classes.
Yeah, so the ones that have a class are actual fighters, yeah.
So let's see, what?
Four of them.
Four?
Yeah, 4 of them.
I'd say about 4 of them are avid fighters.
So that gives us maybe about 15 avid fighters, and whichever of our crew are brave enough. God, you were not kidding when you said that this needs to be done politically.
Mev nods. As far as I know about the ship's numbers, I'm not familiar enough with their crew, but I know that they contain Warforge. So at the very least, we are dealing with machina and technologies a little bit beyond our understanding.
Then I suppose we play this smarter than brute force like they probably will. So what's the end goal here? I assume you came with part of a plan, or are you expecting little old me to think of the entire plan myself?
Mev, actually, she looks annoyed for a minute, and she looks at Camilla. I was the one that even got this here. And it looks like that momentary bite, like, she recedes quickly. But does Camilla say anything for a minute?
I was simply asking if you had anything for me to work with initially, or if we're going into this by the seat of our pants.
The best case scenario, as we know, most Jurahanians don't take no for an answer. If we were to just leave him high and dry, it could start a war with them, even if it's not as severe as Jurahan and Kolmordak. What we are hoping for is a foot in the door kind of deal, or at least what he perceives it to be. We agreed to trade and smuggle smaller things in order to build some sort of trust. Basically leave this guy hanging for as long as possible on Celestine while we gather our resources and think of something greater, maybe something that will entice him or get rid of him entirely.
She seems deep in thought at this. A good baseline, but then there has to be the question on what else they might be willing to offer. We don't know this person's trade. We don't know exactly how powerful he is in Jurhan. For all we know, he could simply be a street merchant that got lucky with a ship. So a lot we don't know about this person. So we'll have to tread carefully. The other part is a meeting point. Land is an option, but my worry is if things go south, if he just orders his ship to open fire, our ships wouldn't stand a chance, and then we'd find ourselves stranded. Even if it was the case where we killed him out of spite, well, that would still be our end. And I don't think the death of 2 crow's nest captains is worth the death of whoever this person is. What if we had the meeting on the deck of his ship?
That would put us completely in his territory.
Correct, but it may lead him into a false sense of confidence. And I know I keep referring to this, but you always have to plan for these Jurhanians. If push comes to shove and battle is inevitable, he would have to split his forces between our fighters and firing on the ship, which might give us a small edge. He would also have to operate the ship, which means there'd be less things around. Either way, I feel the deck of one of the ships would be best. It is wide open, meaning that we are much safer, while also giving a bit of a territorial advantage. But look, I'm blunt, I'm forward, I don't usually like to get what I want, but I'm also no fool. And if we're discussing this, and it is thought that it is an ill-advised idea, then I will concede to dry land.
Beth thinks for a minute. Perhaps it's high risk, but going on his ship might be a good idea. Not only would it split his forces, but it would give us the opportunity, if things go quite south, to hijack it. Use his own technologies against him, if possible.
You see her eyes slightly widen and a smile sort of appear at that thought.
Question, Tom.
Yes.
Do Jurhanian ships have tech as in, like, different control schemes and, like, how to use their cannons and stuff like that other ships don't have?
It's predominantly their cannons.
Okay.
Their cannons essentially are able to fire faster and further, though not necessarily increase firepower.
They also use different materials.
Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
Yeah, part of given your history, Arjun, you would have seen a typical Celestine cannon.
Yes, those things will fuck you up.
In
Fucking-
terms of how it looks, it does look a little bit like a regular cannon, though the Celestine contraption sort of runs along the side of the entire barrel, which
So it has, like, a clip.
it's not so much clipped on as it is built into the cannon itself. Like, it can't be removed.
It has a bowling ball alley.
Oh my god.
If you'd like to
Okay,
save
good.
that, but essentially,
Okay, good.
you know from how it. Actually, make an intelligence check. This is sort of going into the realms of, like, knowing how it works.
Intelligence.
Yes. 17. You know that with the Celestine cannons, it more improves the accuracy and sort of amplifies the speed of the cannonballs, which is why which makes it essentially if a regular cannon and a Celestine cannon fired at each other, the Celestine cannon could, in good weather with a good shot, hit things twice as far away.
So I know how to do a pretty good job of sabotaging these things too, huh?
Make another intelligence check.
Fuck me. Playing the dice game right now. Hang on.
Another 17.
17.
The Achilles heel is within the actual Celestine parts themselves. You know from being in Johan, that Celestine is, while less so when it's been like refined and treated, is still somewhat volatile. And it is, in terms of parts of the cannon, it is actually the weakest point of the cannon too. Typically, an explosion that might dent the barrel of a cannon would basically destroy the Celestine part of it, turning it, like, worst case scenario for the explosion, it would basically make the cannon the equivalent of a regular one, and more often, badly damaging or even destroying the cannon itself. And they're difficult to replace. So if a Celestine cannon's been destroyed, odds are it's just going to be made into a regular cannon afterwards, unless they're in Johan themselves.
Arjun glances over. He thinks about this for a minute, and he does admit. He says, if I have a bit of black powder, if I can sneak on board, this is an option, but I can disarm that Galero ship.
I looked at Arjun. You can?
I've worked with Celestine cannons before.
You've been on the Durahanian ship?
Yes.
Alright. Mev. Let's say you're just like a little confused. I think she might insight you.
Go for it.
Just to see, like, how much do you actually know? 17. Fuck!
Arjun is killing it with the rolls this session.
Okay.
Arjun is what he says seems to be as flat as it normally would be. Apparently, he's just worked with Celestine cannons before. He's been on an
Okay.
Jurhanian ship. That's he's being forthright. There's no reason to believe that he's holding anything back.
It looks like Mev was trying to get just more details from that, but she doesn't, and she just says, I'm gonna have to ask you about that later. But she looks at Camilla. We have a volunteer to sabotage, quite possibly while we're talking to him.
Varun speaks up. Hold up a second. Galleon's got about 40 guns. And they're going to be heavily guarded because it's Celestine we're talking about. You're going to do this by yourself?
Can you teach others?
What was my what's his name? My little buddy
The little fairy?
Nimbus. That's it,
Nimbus.
I could probably bring Nimbus along. At the very best. But I would prefer to do it myself. It's something that I would be capable of.
Yeah, that's a plan B. We'll need to see what we're up against to begin with. If this ship has been sabotaged, potentially all of the Celestine cannons have been replaced with regular ones. Still, not that good odds, but they're odds that I'd at least be willing to take. And it means that he can't use the threat of violence against us so easily either. And it's the other part we have to factor. As we say, Jurhans want to get what they want. And they'll do anything to get it.
Nev glances at Arjun, like, you hear the little chime for a second, and she says, I like your plan. We're going to continue that line of thought later. All right?
Very well.
She looks at Camilla. I would also recommend we are going to be by the Isle of Yenta either way, no matter if we board his ship or not. We have, at this point, 4 ships getting involved. I'd like to propose that any of our non-combat capable crew board one of them, preferably the biggest, and move to another part of the island in case things go south. That way, we are not stranded.
The biggest, I assume, to hold all the crew, yes?
Yes.
Is it possible the needle's damages? Could we move the non-capable fighters to the needle, move the needle's cannons to the Algos?
If I was in any other situation, I'd be insulted by the idea of you taking my cannons. However, this is going to be part of a larger conversation, isn't it, Ronren? Yep. Realistically, yes, but then you need to factor in if your ship can handle the cannons. The additional backblast might not... You've got gunnery masters. I'm sure that we can converse and try to find how many we could spare.
The Algos is a sturdy ship. I've served on it for a long time. I believe that it could handle at least a few more guns.
Good. This is going to be a very complicated plan, though it sounds simple. There's going to be a lot of things running around it. So looks you, Mev. So I assume then, based on what you're saying, is that rather than be on the deck, we go and speak in Yanta and simply have one of our ships go around the other side. Am I correct in that assumption?
I say she thinks about this for a minute, just seemingly calculating all of the steps in her head. One of them goes to the other side of the island while we meet and board the Rising Star. We would still be on their ship. However, if things go wrong, if any of the ships are destroyed in the process, most, if not all of us, can swim. We'd be right by the island. We'd make it. The other ship comes around, picks us up. It's the last resort kind of deal. The backup.
Absolutely. Well, I'm glad we got all the backup plans somewhat in place. Which is all looks a bit more solemn at this point. The other thing that I will need to make sure then is if the crew are willing. So I looked over at Von again. You didn't happen to tell them where I've been, have you? Hi, ma'am. The crew's tired, the ship's damaged. I've no doubt that they'll follow, but I will not force them into this willingly.
I would put pressure on Lucinda, Sparks, and Mulbrin to come.
Oh, I have no doubt that they would follow me. They'd follow me into the hells if I so desired. The rest of the crew I'm worried about. But she stands up. We shall see. For now, we need to see if the needle is going to be in a good enough state as is.
Mev nods.
Von Ren, we are going to be anchoring here for the night. Your ship, the Algos, can come alongside, though you'd be so kind as to let them know they're not allowed on board unless I give them permission. Sure.
Just so you are aware, Captain Bali and a select very few, 3 or so members of the main crew of the Algos are not Moen. They were members that I was joining along with, simple merchants.
Oh, the issue is not not whether or not they're Moen.
I know. I just wanted to be upfront about that fact. There's a lot of things they may not understand.
Then their transgressions, if they make one, will be looked over once. Then they will be informed, and there will not be a second. Sort of stands up, just sort of rubs her hand a bit, says, "Right, well, Looks to you, Mev. Well?
She looks at her mom.
Are you coming back, or are you staying here?
She looks at the group. How's everyone look?
Arjun looks like he's encouraging you to go.
Havelock looks neutral.
Insight?
Yeah, insight.
Insight. Immediately.
Fucking, he is waiting to see what you choose.
Okay.
Captain, he's gonna listen.
She did say that. Mev looks back at Camilla. I would love to rejoin the Nymphs Needle for the night.
There's a smile and she nods. Very well. Looks over to Karmora and says, apologies for taking one of your crewmates. Look, we're going to have to keep our ships close together as is, so as far as I'm concerned, it's not an issue. But, so it looks over towards Arjun and Havelock. I'd at least ask that you don't deny her friends to be able to see her. Oh, Havelock's not going to be allowed on the deck of my ship. Not at all. But I suppose if you're happy to, then Mev can meet him on your ship. Yep, kinda had a feeling that's how that would go. Alright, fine. Obviously, beyond if the weather gets worse. Of course.
While they're having this conversation, Mev pops into Havelock's head. How much am I allowed to say?
You can tell her everything you want.
Everything?
Fine by me. I'm sending Dawes with you. He'll be a rat tonight.
Are you sure?
You trust in your mother enough to know?
Looks like Mev isn't sure about that. She disconnects.
Oh, my connection. Mev sees him visibly frowning like a kicked puppy.
Alright, see. So, as the meeting comes to a close, Camille just looks at you and is like, right, is there anything that you need to get? If so, get it now and quickly.
I collected my things before. I thought this might happen.
Very well. So, are you ready to go see your family again?
I'm sure they're ready to see me.
I'm sure they are. That's what we're going to call it for this session.
Oh my god.